Hey guys, this is Illusion PODFIC, and today we're going to be reading HR standing for Hood Red by Dark_Nymphs_translates parentheses Dunkel Nymphin. This is Chapter 3. Kevin, I swear on all things that is holy, if you print this email, I will staple it to the back of your head. Jason really wished it was unusual for him to be making threats so early in the morning. Unfortunately, it wasn't. And Kevin was an asshole if he didn't have his morning coffee yet, which of course he had to prove. I thought you were Red Hood, not Poison Ivy. And with those words, he printed out the page without batting an eyelid. Kevin should have known better, because he wasn't the only one in a bad mood without his morning coffee. Red Hood was also a bit of an asshole. Hey Ivy, he grinned into the phone. I've got an opening here that would be perfect for you. Are you interested in becoming Wayne Enterprises' new environmental officer? Kevin spent the rest of the week putting together 100 suggestions for Ivy on how to make the company more environmentally friendly. Jason followed along smugly. The fact that Bruce almost burst a vein in his forehead was just a bonus. When Jason turned up at work later than usual the next day, which was entirely the Riddler's fault, his coworkers were all sitting comfortably at a coffee party. What's going on here? He asked, more than a little surprised. Miss Taylor, his boss, handed him a cup of coffee and shrugged her shoulders. Our computers won't start, so we can't work either. And Jason looked around. And is the IT department working on it yet? Pete looked at him in horror. How, if we can't contact them by email? Jason looked at him in disbelief. The phones are still working. Everyone around him flinched. Miss Taylor's mouth twisted. Have you ever dealt with the IT people before? Jason shook his head. She sighed. To put it mildly, we're all terrified of them. They're all rude and think we're idiots. Email contact is bad enough, but I can't stand it over the phone. Jason felt as if he'd fallen into a trap. Let me guess. You've been waiting for me to call too. Mrs. Taylor exhaled in relief. Very nice. You got it. Yes, that had definitely been a trap. On the off chance that the IT department was really as cruel as everyone said and Jason would burst into tears, he retreated into his office for the phone call. He also checked whether switching the computer on and off did anything, and he also unplugged all the cables and plugged them in again. No chance. So he took a deep breath and called the seller. Yes, Nadelbaum speaking. This is Red Hood from HR. None of our computers are coming on. Have you turned it on and off? Yes. Cables checked? Yes. Are you sure the computers are connected to the mains? Yes. Slowly, Jason understood his boss. The guy really thought he was an idiot. Huh, that's not good. You don't say. The guy on the other end sighed. And you really have restarted the computer? I'm not an idiot. To Jason's surprise, the guy laughed. No offense, but half the people can't even do that and lie to my face. It wouldn't do my mood any good if I got in the elevator now just to try a reboot, which then solves everything. And that, Jason understood that. He could think of 5 people in the office right now who he didn't think had any computer skills. Understood, but I've tried it and nothing works here. I'm on my way. Tom Nadelbaum was even nicer when Jason was waiting for him with a cup of coffee. After a half-hour conversation, the guy had not only found the mistake but also convinced Jason that Babs would love this guy. That didn't change the fact that everyone was scurrying around Tom like he was the Hulk. It didn't change the fact that Jason was suddenly treated with a lot more respect. He saved Gotham every other night, but a conversation with Tom Nadelbaum suddenly earned him respect? What a joke. An even worse joke was the offer he received from LexCorp the next week. It was about double the salary he was currently earning, but considering they were trying to poach him, you'd think they would have added a few vacation days. Of course, he told his boss about it. Mrs. Taylor read through the counter-argument, looked at him, and smiled. How would you like a raise, Mr. Hood? What? And 5 more vacation days a year. Sounds good, he said, flabbergasted. That wasn't why he had come. The stupid thing about your brother being your boss was that Tim got wind of it, and since Tim was a gossip, soon everyone in the family knew. Jason couldn't prove it, but his contact in Metropolis was convinced that the bats had smeared several threatening messages on Lex Luthor's office walls. When Jason asked Dick about it, however, he just shrugged his shoulders. I'm sure Lex got exactly what he deserved. Jason really hated the way everyone meddled in his affairs when it came to his job. What he hated even more was that Lex Luthor was stubborn. When he was told no, he wanted it all the more. Stubborn and childish. Jason looked at the huge bouquet of flowers that had been delivered at his workplace and wondered if it was too late to have a sick day. Wayne Enterprises sent him on a vacation trip to Hawaii where he had to spend exactly 1 hour in a meeting and had the rest of the vacation to himself. LexCorp sent him concert tickets to the next Taylor Swift concert. 3 of them. For you and your outlaws. Which outlaws were met now? Because all 4 of them were Swifties and all of them would rip his head off if he didn't take them with him. And LexCorp seriously thought they'd done him a favor? The trial of strength between the 2 companies continued to increase, and it was slowly becoming boring. It was no longer about Jason, but about who gave in first. LexCorp gave in at first, because suddenly they stopped their attempts and turned to the press instead. "Gangster Boss in the Pockets of Wayne Enterprises," read the latest headline in the Daily Planet. Jason had to laugh so hard as he imagined Clark hiding for Batman for the next few weeks. Not that it was his fault, he hadn't written the article. But knowing his father, he would still blame his best friend. Clark Kent was really not to be envied. LexCorp's campaign was not successful. Just an hour after the article appeared, the first internet users from Gotham responded with memes. And they all had the same message: at least our criminals are only in the HR department and not CEO. Mrs. Taylor brought a cake for the whole department the next day with the exact statement on it. It was very delicious. Jason couldn't ask for a better place to work. Alright guys, and that is chapter 3 of HR is Standing for Hood, read by dark_nymphs_translates, _Duckle Nymphin. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you in the next chapter.